Hello everyone, how are you? So today I'm gonna make a video talking about how much does it cost to live in Italy. So what I'm gonna say is based on what people say and based on my experience. Obviously my experience is in Napoli, so when I talk about Napoli is what I see, and when I talk about other cities is what I hear people talking. So when I was thinking about this video, I wasn't sure if I would make a video talking about how much does it cost to live in Italy, or how is my life in Italy now with quarantine and coronavirus and everything. But at least me, I can't stand hearing about coronavirus anymore. I'm just trying to stay away from any news regarding that. I just see the news once a day to see how things are going. But besides that, I don't want to hear about it. But if you guys want to hear about it, comment here and I can make a video talking about how my life is right now. Okay, so when you're choosing the city you want to apply to, if you care about how much you will spend, if it's something really important for you, there are two things I feel like you should keep in mind. One of them is the north of Italy is more expensive than the south, and also big cities are more expensive than small cities, small towns. So there are four universities in the south of Italy. They offer the course of medicine in English. So that's both universities in Napoli, Bari and Messina. So those are the universities in the south of Italy. Rome is considered the center of Italy, and the rest is all considered the north of Italy. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Napoli. Napoli is a city in the south, but it's the third biggest city in Italy, and it's also a very touristic city. I would say for you to live here, sharing a house, but not sharing a room, and not spending too much money, you would need around 500 euros per month. If you want to spend less, you can also share a house and also share a room, or you can spend like very little money with everything. Of course you can spend less, but like most people, like how most people can live, I feel like 500 is a good price. Messina and Bari, I believe they're very similar to Napoli. I've heard people saying that in Messina you can live with 500 euros and that's like enough. So I also believe Messina and Bari you can live with 500 euros. Just maybe you can do a little bit more than in Napoli. So basically all the cities in the south you can live with 500 euros per month, but I believe with 500 euros in Napoli you would do less things than 500 euros in Messina, for example, but still you can live with that much money. Now Rome and Pavia, I believe they have a similar cost, also from what I've heard people saying, because Pavia is more in the north and it's a city that the main thing, like, it's the university. So since there are a lot of students, things tend to become a little bit more expensive, especially rent. So in Pavia, I believe you can live with around 600-700 euros per month. And the same thing goes for Rome, that is a big city but is in the center. Also keep in mind that Tor Vergata is far away from the center of Rome, and La Sapienza is more in the center of Rome, so that also changes the prices of things. And Rome, also around the same price, 700 euros per month you can live. Of course I'm not talking about living on your own in your own apartment, because that would make things more expensive, and that I believe is the price of a lot of cities in the north. Like Bologna, people talk a lot about rent. It's so hard to find an apartment because there are so many students, so it's really hard, and landlords take advantage of it and they make prices really high. So also if you're gonna if you're thinking about going to Bologna, think about that. I think it's always good to check prices, so there's a website called immobiliare.it. I feel like just checking there, you can have an idea of how much things cost, how much rent costs. I'm gonna leave the link of this website in the description box so you can go and check the prices of rent in whatever city you wanna go to. And the last city I wanted to talk about is Milan. Milan is the most expensive city out of the ones that have courses of medicine in English. I don't know if it's the most expensive city in Italy, but it's a very expensive city. So again, from what people say, because I never lived there, but what I heard more than one person saying, you need at least 1,000 euros, and that is again sharing an apartment. So yeah, you would need 1,000 euros sharing an apartment and living like a normal life, not spending too much, not spending too little. So there's something else that people ask me a lot. It's how much the university costs. So it depends a lot on the university and on your income, where you come from. So the best thing for you to do is go to the university website and check. Now, for example, my university, if you don't like, there is a document called ISEE. I have a video talking about this document already. I'm gonna put in the description box as well. So if you don't do the ISEE, you're gonna pay around 1,700 euros in a year. It depends a little bit from year to year, but that's like the average. And you will pay that throughout the year in taxes that usually they cost from 200 to 300 euros. It's not every month. I don't really paid attention if they like come every I don't know how many days or if they're just random, but yes, they come like maybe 7 to 10 taxes in a year, and if you add everything, it's gonna be like around 1,700. Now if you do the ISEE, you can pay more or you can pay less. The minimum you can pay is 177 euros in a year. This 177 is the regional tax. So you need to pay the regional tax. That is in my region. In other regions the price can change, but I don't think that it's gonna change a lot. So think about like 200 euros in a year. That's the minimum you can pay. Now there are other universities. I know Milan does that, but I don't know which other universities do it. You pay according to where you come from. So according to where you come from, you're gonna pay a price. I believe if the price is really high for whichever country you come from, you can make it lower by the ISEE, but I'm not sure. So again, it's always good to research. Go to the university you're thinking about, go to their website and check the taxes, because you're gonna find them there. And last thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to prices, remember that in your first month, in your first 1-2 months, you're gonna spend more than normal. So there's a deposit of the apartment. So it's usually 2 months of rent for the deposit. And then you have to pay 1 more month. That is the month you're gonna start. You pay the rent in the beginning of the month. So think about 3 months of rent. If you rent something through an agency, it's 4 months of rent. 2 months of deposit, 1 month that is gonna be the month you're gonna start living there, plus 1 month for the agency that doesn't come back. The 2 months of deposit, they come back once you leave the apartment. If you don't break your apartment, if everything's fine, they give you back the 2 months of deposit. Also, sometimes you need to buy stuff for your apartment, you need to rent an Airbnb. Don't rent an apartment unless you visited it. I've seen so many scams. Like, be aware if you see an apartment and then you contact the person and the person messages you saying, oh, I'm an engineer and I live in Switzerland, but you can just pay me the deposit and I'll mail you the keys. Don't believe in that, because that's a scam. So always go visit the apartment to make sure that the apartment is there and that the person is the owner of the apartment and everything. Also, there are a lot of Facebook groups that you can find apartments. Just search Afiti and the city you want to go to, and you can find a lot of groups. But again, beware of scams. In cities that have a lot of students, a lot of international students, there are a lot of people trying to take advantage of it. So remember to always go visit the house. Don't rent any apartment through the internet. Well guys, so I think that's it. I hope you liked this video. I hope it was useful. I know I can't give information about all cities, but I tried to bring as many as I could. Also, I'm gonna make a video answering questions that you guys asked me. So go follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna post tomorrow a story so you can ask me questions and I'm gonna answer in a video. Well, so that's it. Bye!